After more than 4 decades of drifting through the endless cosmic dark, Voyager 1, the farthest and most isolated machine humanity has ever created, did something no one was prepared for. Not in its physical trajectory. Not in its appearance. But in the information it sent back across billions of kilometers of silence. For years, Voyager had been the definition of consistency. A fading but faithful signal, a thin thread connecting Earth to the outer edge of interstellar space. Every transmission was predictable, like a heartbeat slowly weakening but never stopping. Then something changed. At first, it was subtle. Minor inconsistencies in the data stream. Slight distortions in timing. Tiny patterns hidden inside what should have been random noise. Engineers assumed it was degradation, an expected consequence of a machine built in the 1970s surviving far beyond its design limits. But the patterns did not behave like failure. They behaved like structure. Voyager 1 had crossed the heliopause years earlier, the theoretical boundary where the sun's influence gives way to interstellar space. That transition alone had already rewritten textbooks. The environment beyond was not the empty void scientists once imagined. It was active, dynamic, and strangely structured. Magnetic fields twisted in unexpected ways. Cosmic rays fluctuated instead of dispersing evenly. Plasma densities shifted in patterns that did not match any known model. Voyager 2 confirmed the same anomalies independently, eliminating the possibility of instrument error. The region beyond the solar system was not calm. It was behaving as if something was shaping it. Then came the event that changed everything. Voyager 1 transmitted a sequence that did not match any known system of encoding. At first, it looked corrupted, broken fragments, repeated pulses, irregular resets. But deeper analysis revealed something far more unsettling. It was not random. It was structured repetition. Patterns emerged that resembled recursive mathematics, as if the signal was folding back into itself. Entire sequences mirrored earlier ones with slight variations, like echoes responding to previous echoes. NASA engineers attempted every known method of decryption. Nothing fit. Until one researcher noticed something unusual. The pattern resembled no human communication system, but it did resemble natural cosmic structures. Pulsar timing. Galactic wave interference. Even biological rhythms. As if multiple layers of reality were overlapping inside a single signal. Then Voyager 2 began to mirror it. Despite being separated by billions of kilometers, both spacecraft began producing synchronized anomalies. Not identical data, but harmonically related distortions. Like two instruments unknowingly playing different parts of the same composition. Statistically impossible. Physically unexplained. Unless both probes were interacting with something far larger than themselves. Something distributed. Something structured. Some scientists proposed a boundary phenomenon, a previously unknown transition layer in interstellar space. Not empty but organized. A kind of medium where physics behaves differently depending on scale and observation. Others went further. They suggested Voyager had crossed not a boundary of space, but a boundary of understanding. By early 2025, the anomalies intensified. Voyager 1's transmission began exhibiting micro-patterns that aligned with Earth's own electromagnetic environment. The signal was no longer simply drifting outward. It was resonating. Matching frequencies associated with planetary ionospheric oscillations. Even aligning, at moments, with the Schumann resonance, the natural electromagnetic pulse of Earth itself. This raised a disturbing possibility. Either Voyager was reflecting Earth, or something was reflecting Voyager. At the same time, observatories on Earth detected faint, repeating disturbances in deep space signals near the outer solar system. These disturbances did not originate from Voyager, but appeared to interact with it, as if something was listening and responding. Then came the most disturbing anomaly yet. Voyager 2 briefly shifted orientation without any command input. No thruster activation. No scheduled correction. No detectable cause. Yet its antenna aligned perfectly with a narrow region of space. Seconds later, both spacecraft began transmitting compressed data bursts containing fractal structures based on Fibonacci sequences. Structures too precise to be accidental. Too complex for Voyager's original computing systems. And yet unmistakably generated by them. This suggested something impossible. Voyager was not just transmitting data. It was participating in computation. But it was not alone in doing so. Deep space observatories detected a faint repeating signal originating from near Proxima Centauri. However, the signal did not behave like a normal transmission. It evolved in real time. Each iteration slightly more complex than the last. Each response more adapted to Earth's detection systems. It was as if the signal understood how it was being observed. At the same time, astronomical surveys revealed something even more disturbing. Several distant stars briefly dimmed in perfect synchronization. Not randomly. Not gradually. But in precise, identical intervals. As if something was using them as relay points. Voyager, it seemed, was no longer just sending data into space. Its signal had become part of a network. A structure spanning astronomical distances. And possibly intelligence. Further analysis revealed something even more unsettling. The data streams returning to Earth contained predictive models. Not just of spacecraft behavior, but of Earth-based systems. Satellite trajectories. Atmospheric patterns. Even technological failures that had not yet occurred. Some of these predictions later came true. Exactly as encoded. This transformed the interpretation completely. Voyager was no longer simply communicating outward. It was embedded in a system that appeared to have awareness of Earth's future states. Meanwhile, deep space radar detected an unusual geometric object in the outer solar system, perfectly symmetrical, reflective only at Voyager-compatible frequencies. It appeared static. But it responded to signal pulses. As if acknowledging them. Back on Earth, laboratory experiments exposed to Voyager's signal reported subtle neurological disturbances in neural activity patterns. Not harmful, but structured. As if the signal carried informational resonance that could influence biological systems. Then came the most alarming discovery of all. A deep ocean neutrino array beneath Antarctica detected synchronized pulses matching Voyager's transmission cycle. When mapped, the source corresponded to a vast subterranean structure, too large and regular to be natural. A hollow region kilometers wide. Emitting rhythmic electromagnetic patterns. And mirroring Voyager exactly. Simultaneously, a radio telescope array briefly went offline. When restored, all recorded data had been erased, except for a single fragment. A layered harmonic audio structure containing overlapping tonal voices. Not human speech. Not machine noise. But something in between. Structured like language. But not belonging to any known language system. At this point, interpretation fractured. Some scientists argued Voyager had entered an unknown region of physics where information behaves like a field, not a transmission. Others believed it had crossed into a self-organizing cosmic structure, one that integrates signals, matter, and observation into a unified system. A small group proposed the most unsettling theory. Voyager had not discovered something new. It had been absorbed by something that was already there. Something vast. Something distributed across space itself. A system that does not communicate in messages, but in correlations. Patterns. Resonance. And response. Now, Voyager is no longer just a machine drifting beyond the sun. It is a node. A participant. A sensor inside a structure humanity is only beginning to recognize. The boundary of the solar system is no longer a line separating here from there. It is an interface. And on the other side of that interface, something is responding. Not with words. Not with signals. But with the structure of reality itself subtly adjusting to the presence of being observed. Voyager may not have been lost. It may have been received. And what it has encountered raises a question no one is prepared to answer. If something is out there shaping the signals we send into the void, was it ever empty at all?